Have you ever been afraid to go on your first flight, or are you scared to even go on a plane, or do you travel and you just hate plane rides, you get major anxiety, you freak out the night before? Keep watching this video. I got 15 tips that are gonna help you for your next plane ride. Good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you're at around the world. It's Tom from Tom and Dom's World, and no Dom today. It's just going to be a little sit-down video, a little chat for you guys. As you could read by the title, these are going to be 15 tips on how to deal with airplane anxiety or just travel anxiety in general. Because I deal with this, I figured I want to sit down and maybe help some of you that deal with it as well. So let's get it started. Before we get into tip number one, I just want to start out by saying this could be your 5th flight or your 50th flight. It really doesn't matter. I've been on dozens of flights myself, including to ones across the world, and I still deal with this anxiety problem on airplanes or really just traveling in general. So I'm here to help maybe dwindle down your problems a little bit, or if this is your first flight, maybe help prepare you better for that first flight. So without further ado, let's get into tip number one. So tip number one, this goes before you even get on to the airplane. This starts with your booking. If this is your first flight, do not book the cheapest flight, especially if you are nervous about flying. So from experience, Dom and I flew Frontier to Punta Cana because it was cheap. It was the cheapest air price possible. Well, after you pay for baggage and your seat and everything, it's really not that much cheaper, but it is cheaper. So a big reason not to book cheap is because here is a bad experience, and one of the reasons why I deal with anxiety was because of this trip. We booked Frontier, Dom and I, to go to Punta Cana. I had to sit in the middle, Dom was on my left, and then a stranger was on my right. You're elbow to elbow with the people, legs are scrunched up, there's no feet room, there's 2 bathrooms, so if they're occupied, you're stuck. There was turbulence the whole time because I guess it's a smaller plane, you feel it a little bit more. I was getting sick into the bag in Dom's lap. It was a awful experience, and it ended up ruining the first couple days of our trip because I still was having pains from the flight. So if this is your first flight, or you do travel with travel anxiety or plane anxiety, do not book cheap. Do not book cheap. I know the prices look good, but hey, you get what you pay for. So tip number 2 is also in the booking phase. The booking phase is very important, and in this step, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about the booking times that you pick. So when you go to book a flight, you're gonna see a whole bunch of times, different airlines, different prices, different layovers, all the above. Pick a time that works best for you. Pick the times that make you comfortable. For example, I am an awful morning person. When I wake up early in the morning, my stomach hurts, I can't eat, and the last thing I wanna be is trapped on an airplane. So if you are like me in the mornings and struggle in the mornings with your stomach, or just in general how you feel in the mornings, don't book an early flight. Early flights are great because when you get to your destination, you have the whole day. Whereas if you book a night and you get there at night, you have to pay for the hotel room and you basically wasted a day. Wasted. But again, to me, feeling comfortable, getting to my destination, feeling the best, and then, going to bed, waking up fine, that is more important to me than saving that day. So I'm not going to give this tip its own number, but be sure to pick a seat that is closer to the front of the plane if possible, as you do feel more turbulence in the back of the plane than the front, which is why first class is in the front of the plane because it's a smoother ride. But if you can pick a seat that's closer to the front of the plane, you'll feel the less shaken and you'll feel a lot better. Tip number 3. So after you booked everything and you are ready to go, it's the night before, you need to take care of your body. Eating healthy before a flight is a must, especially if it's a long flight. I've made this mistake before where I eat like crap the night before. I wake up, I go to the airport, I grab Dunkin' Donuts, I'll get a hash brown and a sandwich, and everything's greasy. I ate like crap the night before, and guess what happens when you're on the plane? Your stomach's bothering you, you're hitting turbulence, the bathrooms are being used, and you're trapped. You're trapped. So what do? You don't do that. What you do is the night before, you get a nice meal in you. You don't eat late at night. You wake up in the morning. If you are getting a morning flight or a later flight, what I do is I eat stuff that's very simple throughout the day. Peanut butter and jellies, basic chicken. Just don't overeat or don't go over the top of what you eat. Stay away from greasy and fattening foods. It will save you. So for me, I have a bit of anxiety using public bathrooms, which I'm sure a lot of you do as well. So if you eat right and treat your body right, it will pay off on the plane, I guarantee it. Tip number 4. So this is also in the preparation phase before a flight. What you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna make sure you get a good sleep the night before a flight, especially again if it's a long one. Now there's a lot of misconception out there, however this may work for some people, but a lot of people think, you know, I'm gonna not sleep the night before and then I'm gonna sleep on the plane. It's gonna make it easier because I'll already be tired. But if you deal with anxiety or if you deal with travel anxiety, then this is probably not a great idea, because when you get on the plane, again, you're not going to be feeling good. Your stomach might be hurting you. For example, if I don't sleep, get a good night's sleep, my stomach's bothering me, I got a headache, I really get annoyed easily, and you don't want to be in that mood while you're on the plane. Also, when you're in the airport, it is very important that you are aware of what's going on. You may need to run to your gate across the airport. You may need to worry about your passport. Make sure you got your paperwork. Make sure you got your ticket to get on the plane. Make sure you're going to the right gate. It can be really confusing and a lot is happening at once. You got to make sure that you are ready to go and you are feeling good. So get a good night's sleep before. Tip number 5, again, is also in the preparation phase. A lot of this has to deal with what you do to prepare before your flight. Get everything downloaded and ready to go, because when you're on that plane, sure, some flights do have Wi-Fi, but sometimes it costs an arm and a leg and it's not even that good. So go on Netflix, get all the downloaded movies that you already have downloaded at home with your own Wi-Fi. Make sure they're all downloaded and ready to go. If you guys want to do YouTube Red, they give you a free, I think it's month or week or something like that, trial. Sign up. You can download your favorite YouTube videos ready for you to watch on the plane. And why this is important is because when you're on the plane, basically, if you deal with anxiety like I do, you want to feel as comfortable as possible and you want it to feel much like home. So when you're sitting there in your airplane seat, your eyes are closed, you're listening to your favorite podcast or YouTube video or Netflix that makes you feel comfortable and makes you feel at home. You want to make that anxiety go away, so you got to be ready. You got to have Netflix that makes you feel good. So if you're having anxiety at home, what do? You go on Netflix, you go on YouTube, you play games. So have all that stuff ready to go for you on the plane when you start to feel a little bit anxious. Find some music that calms you down. What I like to do is I have a playlist on Spotify that is music that calms me down. So I have that ready to go for when I'm on a plane. It's calming music. It might put me to sleep. It might calm me down in the situation. So also do that. Tip number 6, I believe, wear comfy clothes when you're on the airplane. This is so important. So unless you're going for work and you need to be ready to go in a suit or something, and if you are, I feel bad for you. I've seen people on planes like that, but I mean, I guess some people deal with that better than I do. So this is my theory. I always wear sweatpants onto the plane, and then I wear a t-shirt, and then I pack shorts and I pack a hoodie. The flights, usually I am more cold than hot. When you're down on the ground waiting for the plane to take off, the air isn't circulating, so it can get a little warm before you take off. But once you're in the air and the air is circulating, there's air conditioners above you. The plane gets pretty chilly sometimes, kind of like a movie theater. So I always am fine in sweatpants, and my t-shirt is fine. Sometimes I need to throw a hoodie on, but sometimes I'll just bring a blanket and I'll feel even more comfy. You'll feel less anxious, and it will just make your mood overall feel better. So dress comfy. Okay, so this is another tip to deal with your anxiety. We're on tip number 7, and this is on the plane. So when you first walk onto the plane, I always do like a little ritual good luck thing. I don't know, it's just mentally. I always tap the plane, like you'll walk by the plane, I always tap it. It's just good luck for me. I don't know. I've never gone on a flight and not do it. This is the part where people start to panic. When they're walking down these tight aisles, all the eyes of people in first class are staring at you. The plane looks really, really small. This could be a huge trigger for people. So what I do is I look at the ground and I just follow the trail to my seat. And then I sit in my seat. I try not to think about where I am, and I get comfy and I get ready. So the big worry that is on people's minds, whether it's your first flight, before your first flight, or this is your like 50th flight, is that your life is not in your hands, that your life is in the hands of somebody else, which is true. But you have to remember this. These pilots go through an extensive amount of training, school, and hours up in the air before they even get to you. My uncle is a commercial pilot for years, and I kind of had a just very, very minimal idea of what he has to go through. And my cousin Stefan also is a pilot in training, and I kind of know like what they have to go through on a very small amount. And I tell you, it's a lot. So they go through an excessive amount of training, so you have no reason to worry. A big thing that pilot guy, aka Eric, always goes through when people come up to him when he's, you know, in a pilot in a plane, and the people are coming up, they're scared or they're asking him questions. You know, he always tells me, like, I don't want to die. Like, he wants to make it home to his family, to his friends. So, you know, you're in the best hands of people possible. And honestly, these pilots are way better than most of the drivers that you guys drive around all day. And you're risking your lives doing that. So don't worry about the pilot and how much training they have. And if they know what to do, trust me, they do. Tip number 8 on dealing with your anxiety on a plane, I would have to say, is turbulence can really mess some people up. If you've never been on a plane before and you're up in the air and the plane starts shaking and you don't know what the heck is going on, of course you're gonna freak out. But you need to just relax. Understand that this happens all the time. I've literally been on flights where it's turbulence for 2 hours straight. But if you want to make yourself feel better, if there's turbulence going on and you're sweating and you're starting to get anxiety and you can feel it rush into your head and you really want to know like what's going on, look around you. Chances are people around you have been on dozens of flights before and they know that it's okay. Look at the flight attendants. If you see them not panicking, then don't panic, relax. This is a good tip to not panic. So if they're not freaking out, you don't freak out. Tip number 9, this goes with the last tip, and this is the biggest one for me personally. Dramamine, Dramamine, Dramamine. Turbulence is when the plane is shaking like this in the air and you don't know how long it's gonna stop. Well, if you're someone that deals with major motion sickness like myself, this is quite a big problem. Motion sickness is the worst. I get motion sickness on planes, on trains, on boats, in cars, everywhere. To be stuck in the air, thousands of feet, nowhere to go, nothing to do, the plane's shaking, your stomach's hurting, both bathrooms are occupied, yes, you are gonna get anxiety, you are gonna feel trapped, you are gonna feel like you're dying. It is going to suck. No, I am not sponsored by Dramamine. I wish I was because, man, Dramamine is my savior. There are a couple of different types of Dramamine that you can get for your flight. There is drowsy and there is non-drowsy Dramamine. I always go ahead and go with the drowsy Dramamine. It makes me tired when I'm on the flight and I can take my naps and I can get some sleep because the Dramamine does make you tired and you just kind of want to sleep the flight away. If this is your first flight and you don't know if you deal with motion sickness, just take it anyway. It doesn't hurt. It will just be there as a guard, and if you don't know you have motion sickness, it is not a good way to find out. Tip number 10. These are plane accessories that you kind of want to bring with you to help deal with your anxiety, to help make you feel, again, more comfortable. I always bring a blanket just to kind of lay it over me if I want to lay on it, if I want to put it over my head, if I want to do anything with the blanket, I have it. I put it in my book bag. I always carry around my airplane pillow. I either just keep it around my neck or I kind of put it through the straps of my book bag. But I always carry my airplane pillow. And for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, here's a picture of one. If you have never used one and have never bought one, they do help, but they are still not the greatest thing. There's ones that are better than others, but you just kind of put it on your neck and it's just something to kind of lay your head on rather than like nothing. But these are just things that are going to make your overall experience more comfy and make you feel a lot more at home. So number 11, we're going to go ahead and talk about your seat placement. So for me, like most people, the middle seat is the worst. If you deal with plane anxiety, the middle seat sucks. You know, you might be stuck with the middle seat. If you're stuck with the middle seat, that's okay. You know, it won't hurt to if you're next to two strangers next to you asking one of them to switch, maybe explain your current situation. Maybe they have a lot more experience with flights than you do. Just get to know your neighbors also. This will help a lot of your issues with anxiety, just feeling overall more comfortable with the people around you. Obviously, with everything going on in the world right now, I'm not really sure how planes are set up, if you even do get put next to people. If not, that's great. If you are somebody that goes to the bathroom a lot or loves the comfortability of having a bathroom right there or right in easy access, getting the aisle seat is the best. That's what I love personally is the aisle seat. So I don't have to bother people getting up to go to the bathroom or just to get up and walk around the plane to kind of stretch out if you like to do that. But if you like the security of the wall of the plane next to you with the window, then you could do that as well and kind of put your head up against the wall and sleep, and it's great. So tip number 12, and this has to do with nothing other than finding somebody to travel with you. So being able to travel with somebody that has traveled before, flown in planes before, or just somebody in general that calms you down, that knows you just as well as you know yourself, is very important. For example, Dom to me is that person. She's my travel buddy. We go everywhere together. We travel the world together. And she is always right there for me to calm me down, to just tell me things like, it's going to be okay, Tom. Everything's going to be fine. We're almost there. She keeps my mind busy while also keeping me calm when we color or, you know, listen to music or watch a video together or play a video game together. Whatever it is, it makes time go by faster. Or hey, even if you meet the person next to you, you guys could become friends. You never know. Okay, so on to tip number 13, and this tip is pretty big if you have anxiety on the plane. If you are feeling an episode coming, get up, walk. For me, when I get anxiety attacks, I need to get up and just walk it off. And you can do that on a plane. Don't be afraid to. Just get up out of your seat when it's safe to do so. Walk to the bathroom if you just want to make it look like you're actually going somewhere with a purpose. Walk to the bathroom, splash some cold water on your face. Maybe that'll wake you up a bit. It might calm you down a bit. I know this works for me. The second I feel an attack coming, I just get up out of my seat, take a nice stroll to the bathroom. I'm telling you, this makes a huge difference in having an attack versus not having one. You know, don't worry about what other people around the plane are thinking. Odds are you'll never see them again. If you feel the need to just get up and walk, do it. Tip number 14. Now, this tip is mostly for your mind games. Just remember that flights happen every single day of every hour of every day of the week, every week of the year. Just remember that there are scenarios where things do go wrong, but it is a very small percentage. Matter of fact, you have a higher percentage of when you're driving. So just keep this in mind that there is flights going on every single day of the week. It's not the pilot's first flight. It's not the flight attendant's first flight, most likely. Everything is gonna be okay. Okay, so tip number 15 is keep in mind that anxiety is all in your head. Now, I know hearing that when you're having anxiety is like the worst thing to hear. Obviously, you know it's in your head. If you could fix it, you would. Trust me, I've been there. What's the reason you're on the plane? Is it to travel? Is it to go somewhere you've never been before? Is it to go to a beautiful vacation spot to relax and wind down? Is it to see family you haven't seen in years? Or is it to see family or friends that you have never seen before? These are all things that you gotta just keep telling yourself. You are gonna go somewhere awesome. You are gonna meet someone awesome. You're gonna see people that you love and haven't seen in a long, long time. Are you on this plane for your job? If you're on this plane for your job, chances are you are doing something right. Congratulations to you. If a company or somebody is flying you out for work, you are very successful, and this is a great opportunity for you. If you love traveling and this is your goal, and you watch all these YouTubers travel and you watch all these people, now is your chance to travel. And all you have to do is just get over this plane ride and you are chilling. You are gonna have a great, great vacation. You need to think about these things when you're on the plane, and hopefully they calm you down or they motivate you to just get through this plane ride and everything's gonna be all right. So I hope you guys did enjoy today's little sit down video. I know it was a little different, but I feel like I needed to get this off my chest to help some of you out, as well as, help myself out. If anyone has any tips that I have not mentioned, leave down in the comment section below. What do you do? What helps you get over traveling anxiety? You guys may help me out just as much as I help you guys out. If any of my tips did help you, also let me know down below because that means a lot to me. We're almost at 200 subscribers, so if you are not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. In my analytics, it says like 93% of viewers aren't subscribed, which is a lot. We got new videos coming out every week, so if you are new around here, like I said, hit that subscribe button. Your support means the world to Dom and I will see you guys with Dom next week. Peace out.